Welcome to the Hawksman podcast. I'm James Mason.
And I'm Sarah Colenso.
Every time we're on here, we're hopefully going to be talking about something different, because if we said the same thing each week, that'd be pretty boring. Hiya.
Hello.
Well, this is new, isn't it?
I know, it's brilliant. I really like this room.
So I should just say we've decided to do a new look, a new venue for, quite a few reasons. Firstly, hell of a lot cheaper. I'm the one paying for all of this. I feel a little bit like David Brent when he got all that money and then went and made an album.
Oh,
It's a bit self-indulgent, isn't it, still?
well, let's try and find the flip side of that and actually be quite interesting if we can pull it out of the bag.
All right, so we'll try and talk about something different each
Don't
week.
sing.
I won't sing.
You don't have a
Nobody.
guitar, do you?
No,
Good.
no.
Okay, fine. Well, we're winning.
Some guitar, because I've got a slight cold,
Stop
but
it.
other than that, no, I'm fine. The one of the ideas that I wanted to do with, I think the last podcast was interesting, and I enjoyed doing them, I have to say. We had some brilliant guests.
We did.
But it was just quite difficult actually getting the space, booking the team, getting it all in. You kind of had to plan it all in advance. And with the market being the way
And
it is,
that's not our style, is it?
oh, I don't know. We can plan things, especially nights out. But I think that with this, it allows us just to potentially be a little bit more reactive to the marketplace. We're seeing some unbelievable changes on a weekly basis still about the housing market. There's some crap advice being given out there. There's some people believing it as well. There's loads of conflicting reports in the press. So I think this just gives us a chance to just hopefully react a little bit quicker. And if we're seeing something on a Monday or a Tuesday, we can talk about it on a Wednesday or a Thursday and get it out to the marketplace.
Absolutely. And I think, with the first set of podcasts that we did were great. We were finding our feet. We were working out what we liked, what we didn't like that kind of thing.
Gin. We like gin.
Obviously, we do. We also like coffee.
Yeah.
Not as much.
Coffee.
There we are.
Yeah.
And I think those podcasts, that were probably a little bit longer and more in depth on subjects definitely served a purpose. But we have to be reactive, and the market is different now. And I loved our last venue. I thought it was fabulous, and they were wonderful hosts, weren't they? So I don't want them to think that it's anything they've gone, but they were amazing.
It was just a long way away from my house.
And we always thought it was 20 minutes, and it wasn't 40. And Rachel got in cross. So I wanted to go cross, but we did make her late every time.
We were late every time.
So now we're just around the corner from your house, in another lovely venue. And so hopefully we can sort of pop in more frequently, put together shorter, more ad hoc podcasts that are hopefully going to pique people's interest.
Well, I think that's the plan. The idea will still be, we still get asked an awful lot about building questions and architectural questions and all the like. So I think we're still going to have chats with people. I think that's there. But the idea might be that we are a bit more responsive if there are questions coming in. And look, we're going to put that over to you. If you do have questions about the housing market or how to buy a house or anything to do with property that you think we could have a chat about and give you kind of the non-bullshit answer and tell you how we really feel, send us a message. Tell us what you want to know, whether it be something literally about buying a house, selling a house, or improving a house. There's...
Oh, could I put out a little request?
Nothing about pandas.
No.
No.
It's property related.
Okay, fine.
But I've started listening to a wider variety of podcasts, and I love it when the listeners write in with a story. So something really funny.
Like that rude one you played the other day. Oh,
but maybe not on that genre. But yeah, but property related, like the terrible viewing that we heard about. Just something funny like that. Like nice little anecdote.
Yeah, write in with your worst ever property related story.
Yes.
Let's start with that. Let's go really for the lowest common denominator, shall we? What's the worst thing that's ever happened to you in a house or on a problem? Careful who you ask that to. But on a viewing.
That's what I like.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure, actually.
You're going to get some gold, please.
I know we secretly, Sarah, get this watched by an awful lot of estate agents.
Yeah.
Who, some of them for the right.
See if they can recognise themselves.
Some of them for the right reasons, some of them for the wrong reasons. But I would have to say, actually, there's some cracking estate agent stories as well. The one I've told you about an office in Woking.
Yes.
Many years ago.
That's never going to make this podcast.
Could never be repeated.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Could never be repeated. If you want to know that story,
for a drink.
Take us out for a lot of drinks because I have to get the voice right as well. But there you go.
Amazing.
But anyway, look.
Let's have a bit of fun with it. Let's try and give people some interesting updates on the market and see how we get on.
Look, we'll give you all the stuff that you want. You know, what a house price is doing, what a buyer's doing, what a seller's doing. On the whole, I think at the moment the majority of sellers are quite sensible. I think that the majority of agents are relatively sensible, but there is definitely some positioning going on, you know, so we can talk about that in a bit more detail later. But one of the nice things is that where are we? I keep thinking it's Wednesday.
It's not, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday today.
Like, pleased about that because you've got an extra day.
Yeah. And over the weekend I had that thing where LinkedIn reminded me that it's 8 years, Sarah, since I announced Hawksman to the world.
I know. Presented Hawksman.
Well, I remember the post, actually. It was a photograph of our first prototype business card, and it was a bit blurred. I think I did it in sepia before we worked out.
But...
Is it sepia? Oh, okay. Well, listen, I got kicked out of school, so I don't know these things. But the first post was literally a photo of a business card. And I think I said, well, here we go. And it was great. It was, you know,
there we went.
It was a real funny time because I'd had meetings with several agents up and down the high street saying, look, this is what I'm thinking of doing. All of them, to a man, said, I don't think it will work. Because
they thought it would work, though?
Yeah, you did.
Then you deserve to do well.
Bronte's Cafe in Cobham. There's a blast.
On Remembrance Day.
It was 2015 then, wasn't it? Before
yes,
we announced it in 16. So yeah, that was when
11:05 we met because we wanted to observe the silence, and then we started our coffee at 11:05.
And then we did, yeah. And I remember talking to you. I remember talking to one of the other dads as well. And in fact, actually, there's maybe a story you don't know, because we were talking about quite a lot of stuff, and I'd come up with the name, and I'd come up with a few other things, and we went on a dad's curry night. We ended up in Isha Tandoori.
So you're the only people in living memory to have actually chosen to sit in there.
There were 3 groups of men in there. It was either stag do's
that
or...
That is my go-to curry order. I have the app. I love them.
But delivery?
Absolutely. It's never even crossed my mind to sit in there and eat.
Yeah. Well, this is over 8 years ago.
Okay.
And let me tell you, some seriously big hitters in there. I mean, you know, some very, very, very highly powered men sat around the table.
You can't find out though, or one of them went for a fall, or...
No, as in... business-wise, some really... And I can remember a conversation. I won't say who you are, but I remember
Did he recognise themselves?
No, I don't think so. But a really nice bloke.
Yeah.
Massively successful. Now in an enormous house. And I remember him saying to me, he said, I really envy you. I really admire you.
Yeah,
you do.
Oh.
I really admire
yeah.
you. He said, he said, you're setting up on your own. Well done. He said, not something I'd ever do. And I was like, you don't need to. I've got more money than God. But anyway, but it was a really nice night. And actually from that meeting, there was quite a lot of excitement from it. But I think, launching it out to the rest of the property world, and big mates of mine now that we still talk to, just said, I don't know why anyone would use you. Thanks for the honest feedback. And I have to say, you sort of go into it, and 2016 was a funny old year anyway.
It was.
Brexit year.
Brexit.
And then 2017 seemed to be a year where everyone got on with things.
It was a nice year for getting Hawksman up and running, wasn't it? Off the ground.
So really,
you had 2016 as a foundation year, and I was very much in the back office, just doing stuff that you didn't want to do, which is...
I think that's fair. Massively fair.
And then 2017 was when you really hit the ground running, wasn't it?
I think 2017 was great. We had some really great properties. It was a real fun year, actually. 18 was not a fun year.
No.
If you worked in agency, do you remember how awful 2018 was? Sold loads of houses.
And then what happened to them?
All of them fell through.
Yes, they did.
I went in there and got a bad feeling, and now I'm pulling out. I saw something on the news, and now I'm withdrawing. Whatever the reason was that year, 2018 was the year it fall through, wasn't it?
Really.
Just time and time again, and normally quite late on in the transactions, but people just got spooked.
Yeah.
The less we say about 19, I think, the better, because nothing happened. Nothing happened. Could have taken that year off. Could have just mothballed the company. And I have to say, it was a little bit, we sat there going, what is going on here? And 2020 just exploded out the gun from, I would say, February.
Well, we had that sale, didn't we? Early on in the year, that little one that we had. Don't look at me like that. I don't want
wasn't that little?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Oh.
But yeah, we had a couple at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
When COVID was just a thing that was happening to China. We were like, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
And then half term, people started getting ill in Italy.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And then everything sort of went nuts.
Well, we sold the house.
Oh,
I sold the house on the Thursday,
Yes, you
and
did.
we went into lockdown on the Monday.
Yes.
Do you remember we had a completion on the Friday, and we went into lockdown on the Monday? It was all just a bit bonkers, and then I just sat in my house doing nothing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys turned up, and it almost kind of turned into Instagram became a proper thing then, didn't it?
Yeah,
And I, by luck or judgment, our kind of pieces to camera seemed to be working. There was a bit more talky talk.
Yeah.
And then straight after that, we came out. Was it Jelinek?
No.
It was Jelinek, housing minister at the time. Housing minister at the time said, I'd like all... I'd like all viewings, or as many viewings, to be virtual. And we had a meeting. We were at Stephen's Lane. We were at Stephen's Lane in Claygate. And you said, well, shall I just film you saying something? And I remember going, yeah. And that was the first ever video we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I had to be barefoot, so I didn't make crunchy noises when I walked backwards.
On the gravel?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I walked in. You had to walk backwards through a house, over a bush, through a door, over a bush.
Yeah.
And we did that one, and that was our first one, and it seemed to be quite good. I think I popped it up on LinkedIn and got a few comments on that, and then suddenly the video was born, wasn't it? The video marketing and the intros were born, and a huge thank you to Chris, the videographer, who worked through it with us. And
so Chris saying, I've got a record button on my camera. Shall I have a go? Yeah, go on then, Chris. Yeah. And then he did that first walkthrough video, didn't he? That's what transformed everything.
Yeah. And we've got those down from about 7-8 minutes now down to a much more watchable
nice music
3 to 4 with some music that sometimes they allow us to put on social media without banning us in certain countries.
Yeah.
But it has changed. And I think that now kind of, listen, in and around the area, I know there's lots of people all over the country doing different types of marketing. But I think where we are, I think the videos that we put out are kind of our thing, aren't they?
They really are, yeah. And we get some lovely compliments on them. And as we say so often, a first viewing is now actually technically a second viewing because so many people have already seen the video. They just kind of checking that they like the area, that they like the feel of the house. Because the feel of the house is something that, genuinely does have to come across. But I can't imagine never ever doing anything without a video again, really.
No.
It's full tool.
And I literally had a buyer this morning ring up and said, I love the videos. They're really helpful, actually. And it's all about that. If it helps someone get an idea of a house that they want to view, surely that's a good thing.
Yes.
It keeps them from viewing properties that aren't going to be suitable for them. Doesn't waste anyone's time.
We do like protecting time. We like protecting our own time because obviously we're the only two that do the viewings and we can't be in 3 places at once, or even 2 sometimes. And we don't want to waste our clients' time either.
No.
So we don't want them to be tidying up their house and leaving 3 kids and 2 dogs out for someone who's actually not going to buy their house.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
I think we've nailed it and we move forward and we're always tweaking things. But I think the way things are moving are the way they're moving. Property joke.
Good one.
Thanks. I think we are doing the right thing and it's going in the right direction.
Well, we're going to continue doing it, aren't we? So there you go. Yeah, exactly. And I think this kind of thing is good. Obviously, we're a little bit self-indulgent today talking about Hawksman's 8 years, but
it's been 8 years.
But you know what? It has been 8 years. And what a very different company we are. I mean, who would have thought 8 years ago that we'd be sat here, I hate the word podcast, but in a podcast, chatting about the property market, getting it out to people, giving information. Just never would have thought that this is the way the world is going to go.
I mean, we still don't know if anyone's actually going to watch it, but
I put it on.
There you go.
No, I put it on my iPad and play it.
That's nice. What, over and over?
No, it only counts once. Tried it the first time, left it on all night, but yeah, it didn't work. Only counts as one.
We got some really nice compliments on the last lot, though.
Well, look, it's
if someone gets something from it, then brilliant.
Do you know what? That's the truth, isn't it? If there's one point, and you know the kind of thing that I normally bang on about sole agency contracts and all that kind of thing, overvaluing that kind of thing. There's loads of topics we can talk about, and hopefully we'll cover them. And as I said, if there are specific topics that you want us to cover, we can do that, no problem at all. And we can do 3 or 4 in a day here and get them out to people. If you want us to talk to you privately, we could probably do that as well if you want some advice and you're not around for us to pop in and see you. But I just think that there is now such availability for us to try and get our message across to people about the property market because it's changing. It's changing. And the way that it's been done for years and years and years isn't the way that it needs to be done going forward. And I think some of the advice out there is shocking. I think some of the practices that are being manipulated at the moment with people are absolutely shocking, and I think they need to stop.
Yes. So we've actually got a reputation now, and we pride ourselves on telling people what they need to hear, the advice that a friend would give them if their friend...
Oh, God, that's a good one. The advice that a friend would give them. I suppose, look, I think you're absolutely right. We go in and tell people what we genuinely think, whether, and not just...
They might not act on it or not, but...
Well, a lot of what we're doing at the moment as well is either stay and improve or move.
Yes.
It's a TV show, isn't it? Who's that
It
with?
should be.
I think it
No,
is.
it's
Improve or
Love
move.
It or Move It or something. I can't remember. Improve It or Move It.
Hump it or what?
Huh?
Love it or hump it or...
And that's different.
That's removals. That's a removals company.
Or is it Channel 4?
Hump it and
Don't know.
say.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
There are some of those shows on Channel 4 these days.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. That's not about a house, is it?
It's called Open House.
It's not about a house, though.
It's really harsh.
Wouldn't be marketing that one. Let me tell you. Communal, sir. Yes. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we're doing at the moment is telling people whether they would be better off staying and doing work, because a lot of people have had planning permission granted and then are thinking, do I want to do it actually, or do we just move?
Yeah.
And we're quite happy to turn around to someone and say, no, don't move, do the work.
I actually enjoy those appointments where someone's saying, I don't know what to do. And then we can kind of ask them the questions that will help them get to the conclusion that they need to reach. Because we don't know what their plans are, what their finances are, anything like that, what their end goals are. So we just go in and kind of just present them with the questions that they need to answer in order to come to the right conclusion for their family. And I really enjoy those visits. And we meet some lovely people.
It's
and,
nice.
you know,
It is
they
nice.
go, and then we actually said it this morning, didn't we? Don't think you should move,
Don't
do
move.
work, and then invite us back because we'd love to see what you've done, you know. And we've always thought that it's a relationship for life, and if you don't sell your house now but you like us, then please let us know in 5-10 years when you do want us.
Well, unfortunately, we're not going anywhere, are we?
No.
We can't quite run off to a Caribbean island and run the business from there yet. That is the plan, viewer, that 10 years?
Different islands or the same island? Big island, different sides.
Big island,
I don't
different
want windy
sides.
side.
Fine. I'll be on the other side. It's fine, but,
Okay.
you know,
All right.
I'd like sunset.
Yeah. Okay. Have it.
Well, I'm on the west, you're on the east.
Go for it.
Fine.
Oh,
Love it.
yeah.
Well, you said it now, verbal contract. Yeah, that will be the plan. But no, until then, we're not going anywhere. So we've said to people, look, whether you move in 4 weeks, 4 months or 4 years, we don't care.
Yeah.
It's whatever's right for you. So this whole idea of trying to force people onto the market, trying to manipulate them in order to sell, the scaremongering, all that kind of stuff, it's just rubbish. So, you know, we'll be here whenever anyone needs us.
Absolutely. On their timescale, not ours. So, we're in the middle of March now. How would you...
I was just working that out in my
It
head.
really is. I'm
Yes.
not lying.
No,
It's really-
yeah. I was thinking, how?
Is it?
Is it?
It is.
Yes.
How would you say February has compared to January? Have you noticed any differences?
Yes, I have.
What differences,
Do you
Jenny?
remember at the beginning of January, I did a video and I said, right move, I've said February is the best month to put a property on the market or most likely to sell or whatever. We had a brilliant February. 5 deals in February. Was it 5, 6? I don't know. There's one off market as well.
Yes.
A really good month. I think the quality of buyer changed as well. Do you remember in January? I was really grumpy. I was really grumpy because it was just constant. Can I look around a house? But I don't have any money. I haven't even put my house on the market or had it valued, but I still want.
If I like the area.
Don't know if I like the area, but I definitely want you to come at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, when the rugby's on. They got short shrift, didn't they, Jane?
I wasn't the happiest guy. I'm going to be grumpy. Yeah, grumpy. Anyway, February changed a bit and the quality improved.
Yeah.
It's still improving, but we're still seeing quite a lot of people wanting to come out and look at houses before they've done anything on theirs. Please don't do that. Please get your house at least on the market before you start viewing houses. That's why we do the videos. And I think that the quality is improving now quite considerably.
Mm-hmm.
There is still a lack of stock.
Yes.
That's a given, right? And I think that the quality of stock on the market at the moment, in the majority of cases, is poor. And that's not just me saying it. One thing that's changed, Sarah, this year, more than any other year that we're running, is the phone calls I'm now getting from buyers that we've met on our viewings days, who are then asking me my opinion about other properties.
Yeah.
And I try and be as diplomatic as I possibly can, and I ask for their feedback first, so after they've seen it, and they tend to answer the questions themselves. You know, there's an awful lot of stock on the market now that you would argue is punchy. whether that's vendor-led or whether it's agent-led, you don't know, but they're just sticking around and they're not selling.
And not
So-
getting sold. Yeah.
So there is an A and a B and a C list at the moment. That's my view.
Yeah.
If you're buying houses right now, do your research. Don't rely on an agent. Have a look on Rightmove. Keep an eye on it. Look at properties. Have your favorited ones. Look at the searches. Look at what's going on. See what the property's done a week later. Is it still at the same price? Has it come down? What have we noticed, Sarah? There are agents out there that definitely reduce their houses on a Friday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
They have a morning
We get that
meeting.
email, don't we?
They have a morning meeting on a Friday. Right, lads.
What are
What are we going to sell this weekend?
How these are?
Nothing, boss. Right, let's get some price reductions. And
On the phone.
headphones. You do those 5, you do those 5, I'll do those 5. And that's it. And they try and get their price reductions on a Friday to motivate weekend viewings. And you'll notice that at about lunchtime on a Friday, Rightmove email out one particular agent's reductions all the time. There are others. You can plan it. You could put a note in your diary. You see the new instruction come on 3 weeks later.
Yeah. Oh, there
3
it
weeks?
is.
No, actually, it's a bit unfair. 2 weeks was one recently. 10% off, in 2 weeks' time. So whether the vendors are aware of that and they know that they are signing up to that, or whether they're being manipulated, I don't know. But there is for buyers, I would say, rank your properties into an A, a B, and a C list.
Mm-hmm.
The A-star properties are the ones that come on. They have double-digit viewings, very often multiple offers. They're great houses. They make sense.
Makes sense. Again, it's just the buzzword or words. Makes sense.
Makes
It has
sense.
to make sense. It
Right.
has to make sense to everybody. Yeah.
Location, price, size, garden, right? All that kind of stuff. Then you've got the B list ones, which are too punchy. So they might not be bad houses.
Mm-hmm.
They might not be bad houses at all, but they don't make sense,
Yeah.
Sarah. All right. And then the C list are the batshit mental ones.
Mm,
All right. And we all know that they're out there. You've all seen
And we all
them.
have a chuckle about them, don't we?
You've all seen them. There's normally a specific reason for it, and we might know what that is. But there's the batshit mental ones, and they're the C list. And
Yeah.
will they ever become B?
Who knows?
Maybe. Will they ever become A? No. So you hope that, with those ones, they just sort of filter out of the marketplace. But they do, unfortunately, muddy the waters a little bit. And they're sort of, hanging around and stuff like that. So as a buyer, I'd just be a bit careful. But there's some really good houses coming onto the market, but they're selling quickly.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. And I think buyers they've got so many different resources now and they are educating themselves better.
Yeah.
I think as well, they almost too much information can be scary.
Yes.
But buyers are coming out with a different approach now, aren't they? And they're better informed. They know what they want and they can get a lot more of the information than they could have done even a few years ago.
Yeah. Look, let me give the 2 best bits of information that anyone needs right now. Ready for this? I'm calling
I'm
it.
bracing myself.
Okay. If you're selling your property, the market's not as good as you think.
Yeah.
If you're buying a property, the market's not as bad as you think. All right?
It's just doing its thing.
It's somewhere in between. Be sensible.
Yeah.
You'll get the result. You'll get the house you want or you'll get the buyer you want. Okay? But just be sensible.
I think that's very good advice.
Thank you. There you go. Right. It's almost as if I'm paying it. Now, that is the end of today. I think we've talked for more than enough. Just a reminder, so we're going to keep doing these on a regular basis. Tune in, tune out if you want to. But we'd love to hear from you. So definitely send in any stories that you've got, property related, whether you were viewing a house and it all went wrong, whether you were selling a house and it all went wrong, whether you got locked in a house, whatever it may be.
Oh goodness, I could do my own episode.
Sarah and Electric Gates, we could have a whole episode on that. And I've got a freedom of information request for the footage. But if you do have anything, send it in. We love a voice note as well. So if there's a funny story that you want to tell us, we will not give away. We will put on a funny distortion.
Don't put your name on the voice note and we might distort it.
Don't mention any names either.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and then James Mason did this. No, but send in all of your information and we'll try and incorporate those into some of our future chats. And also, if you've got any questions, really, really important, if you do want to know anything serious, we can take a 5-minute slot each time about something that is a burning topic in the housing market. Right, hope you've enjoyed this. That coffee's working. We're off to do some more viewings. And if you've got any questions, get them sent in.